Truth about you.
Okay, so we just have a little bit more to finish up with the control of insects. We were almost done with this, and then after we finish this, we are going to review for your test on chapter 16, which is tomorrow. Okay? All right, I know we've covered some of this already, that to control insects, first of all, we quarantine materials that come into this country. There's several insects that already are in this country that came from other countries. We use insecticides that man has made. These are poisons. They can be stomach poisons, meaning that the insect ingests them and then kills them that way, or they're contact poisons where they just come into contact with the poison and it kills them that way. Now, the problem with some insecticides is they build up in the environment, and they don't break down, so the long-term effects of them aren't really known because of this build-up and concentration. They quit using those.
I made it.
She's uncrusted.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I have my homework.
All right, and then of course we also have some insects that are resistant to insecticides. So when they are resistant, they survive, and then they breed more resistant insects, and so they need to keep making better and more effective insecticide. All right, so another, and we already covered that on Friday, but that was just a brief overview again. Biological controls. Now, in this case, this is using techniques to destroy an insect but not harm the environment. One thing is by preventing the life cycle. In this case, using yes, they that's a biological control, getting rid of the environmental idea, because they like water, right? So you get rid of standing water, so then that will control mosquitoes. So interrupting that life cycle where they breed. Crop rotation is another one, because there's some crops that insects really like, and so then they'll plant another crop for a while that insects don't like, so the insects go away, and then they plant the other crop again. So that's another example. And then there's biological controls. And some examples here are using natural predators, whether those be like praying mantises, they eat harmful insects, and then also ladybugs like aphids or other scale insects, which are like gardens. Also, like maybe just introducing things like snakes or frogs or those types of creatures as well that like insects. They're natural predators to these insects. Then we have, I didn't mention this one, but there are the use of pheromones. Pheromones are actually chemicals that the insect secretes to communicate. Many times it's for mating. But using these pheromones that are synthesized, they can actually attract insects and then either kill them, or sometimes they sterilize them. They can use natural parasites to insects. Those that would kill them. Or diseases, like a fungus or bacteria, virus, that would be detrimental to the insect, not to humans or the environment, but something that would kill the insect. So they're looking at all these different ways to try to control these insects, whether they are killing them or sometimes sterilizing them. Like I said, they use the pheromones to lure the insects, then they sterilize them. That's called reproductive sabotage. They'll sterilize the males so that when the male insects mate with the females, they have unfertilized eggs. So even though they're laying eggs, they're not fertilized. And so that helps, because they do lay a lot of eggs. So those are just some different ways that they can do it in a biological control sense. Yeah, that was the last one.
Great notes, guys.
No, we're about to do it. That was just the very last of the notes, so I wanted to cover that first.
Trying to do it in lead.
Well, you suspect that something you break today, so break a leg.
Oh,
In life, you just need a little leg up.
Someone wrote Squidward smells good on notes.
I bet you he does.
Squidward
smells
like a squid.
Good.
Okay, we're going back to the beginning of chapter 16. Remember, this is the introduction to the arthropods, or the characteristics of the arthropods. That's where you're going back.
Oh darn.
On Friday night, I was like, yeah.
Oh, I just closed my notes for you.
Arthropods.
Thank you.
Oh, we guess what I stole back?
You have another one.
Maybe.
I'm
Maybe
so
I
shook
stole
by
it.
two
Oh,
things I
no,
texted. I
no.
texted you like yesterday.
Okay,
Or was it second?
quiet please. So here we go. What chemical is the exoskeleton made of that gives it toughness and flexibility? Chitin. Chitin is correct. Chitin. Now, be aware also that the weight of the exoskeleton limits the size of the insect, right? That's why we don't have insects the size of dogs flying around.
That's good.
That'd be terrifying.
Because that would be very terrifying.
Bork, bork.
All right, but remember, in order for the insect to grow, or the arthropod, sorry, this applies to all arthropods, it must periodically molt or shed its covering, so make sure you know molting is the shedding of the exoskeleton. And then skipping down to the eyes, remember compound eyes contain thousands of individual lenses. This is under the nervous system.
Is it compound or something?
Compound contain thousands of individual lenses. All right, moving on to the next group about the crayfish. Let's see, the crayfish, make sure you know the green gland in the crayfish. I'm going to have to find it. It's not at the beginning, toward the end of it. The green gland is a structure near the base of the antennae that filter out waste material from the blood. Green gland.
Green.
Okay, and then regeneration, remember, is a method of repair in the crayfish. All right, moving on to the spiders. Make sure you know pedipalps are used for sensory reception. Pedipalps in the spiders. Make sure you know that only spiders have and use book lungs for respiration. Book lungs for respiration, that should be under the spiders. They're the only ones that have them.
Did you say book lung?
Book lungs, yes.
It's like the first one of your respiration.
All right, that is for the first half. Moving on to 16b. For class Insecta, make sure you know that almost 80% of all animals are insects. 80% of all animals are insects. Insects are the only invertebrates that can fly. Make sure you know that. The only invertebrates that can fly, insects. Make sure you can list out the 4 types of wings that are in insects. They are membranous, scale-covered, leather-like, and horny wings. No, just be able to list them. Yes, membranous, scale-covered, leather-like, and horny wings. And then make sure you can list out the 4 types of mouths, or mouth parts in an insect. They are chewing, siphoning, piercing, and sponging. List those out. All right, under nutrition, this is actually under the midgut. You need to know the gastric ceca. Gastric ceca are the pouch-like organs that surround the stomach, supplying it with digestive juices. Gastric ceca. All right, under respiration, a couple things here. Respiration in insects is an elaborate system of tubules called tracheae that branch throughout the animal. Tracheae, and then also the tubules open to the outside through a series of spiracles, small pores that run alongside the animal. The gases are exchanged through the spiracles. For excretion, you need to know the Malpighian tubules extract nitrogenous waste from the blood and pour them into the intestine for elimination. And then under the irritability of hearing in particular, you need to know that the grasshopper hears with the tympanum, a membrane-covered chamber in the first abdominal segment. Before I forget, make a note of the diagram on page 379. Diagram of the external anatomy of a grasshopper on page 379. That will be matching on your test. Okay, reproduction. Under reproduction, you need to know the ovipositor is the segment of the female's abdomen that is used to deposit the eggs. The final segment used to deposit the eggs. Ovipositor. Metamorphosis, know the general definition of metamorphosis is a series of developmental changes. Then know the stages of incomplete metamorphosis. Incomplete metamorphosis are the egg, nymph, adult, and then what a nymph is. A nymph is what hatches from the egg and looks like a miniature adult. And then under complete metamorphosis, you just need to know that it is controlled by hormones. Complete metamorphosis is controlled by hormones. You don't have to worry about the stages for that. Okay, moving on to the orders. So these will be matching. You have to match the order with the insect. So you have order Orthoptera are the grasshoppers and cockroaches. Odonata are the dragonflies and damselflies. Coleoptera are the beetles. Under the beetles, do know that the Coleoptera, or this order, is the largest order of insects. All right, then Lepidoptera, butterflies and moths. Under this, make sure you know the difference. Remember, moths are in a pupa that is a spun silk cocoon, and butterflies are in the hard case chrysalis for their pupa stage. All right, this should be under Lepidoptera, the butterflies and moths. So the moths have a chrysalis. The moths have the cocoon, silk cocoon, and the butterflies have the chrysalis. Hymenoptera are the bees, wasps, and ants. Also under this, about the colony, make sure you know that the largest portion of the population of a colony are workers, right? They're mostly workers. And then, order Diptera are the flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. We didn't really talk much about that. Gnats are just like pests. All right, and then finally, under the control of insects, which we just finished up today, The thing about insecticides, make sure you know that some insecticides do not break down and their concentration builds up in the environment. And also make sure you know, under biological control, using natural predators as a biological control, like buying praying mantis eggs or ladybug eggs, so that they can hatch and protect your garden. That is a biological control. All right, I think that's it. Not quite as long as the last test.
Yeah, we can't even remember the last one.
That was
There's not. I left those out.
Oh,
I don't know why. I should have asked them this question.
Different episode is only one
I did not.
Wait, so what? I was like the first. It was one of the first episodes. And that guy Logan, not Logan.
All right. Oh, good. So that's it for the video. We don't have the camera on anymore.
And I was like,
That is Marcus Lloyd.
Marcus Lloyd.
Right now.
My man, Marcus Lloyd.
no, but then that Ricky Thompson.
Bad.
Obey my
Zach. Bad.
Like, good Ricky.
Obey my